Hello everyone, my name is Alejandro Perez from the AFPO team, and in this video we'll go over the management side of handling a pull request for a certain team. Pull requests have two sides to them, a management side and a technical side. In this video we will not go over technical aspects of a pull request as those have been covered in previous videos. We will go over the management side of it, from before the story gets made into a pull request all the way until it gets validated. As always, on screen is the contact information of the AFPO team. You can use this to contact us and ask us any questions that you might have. And the product owner is Dr. Masood Sanjari, and this is his contact information. So, you've been assigned to the AFPO team and want to know the process of handling a pull request from when it gets started all the way until the end. So the first thing that I will advise you to do is to divide the teams among each member of your team. That means that if you're an effort, for instance, you might likely have 4 teams that will be creating pull requests for you: the EFWA, EFEC, EFWE, and EFBT. That means 4 members can have 1 team each. In this way, nobody gets overwhelmed, because when crunch time starts, you'll be getting many pull requests and many things to handle, and you want to have your work partitioned so you can be efficient. So for this video, we'll be using EFWA as an example of the team that was assigned. So how do you start? Well, you need 4 things to be efficient in managing a pull request. The first thing you're going to need is HipChat. At the beginning of your project, you will be given instructions on HipChat. The very first room that you'll have in HipChat is your main room, which in our case is the Summer CIS 2019. In this room, the product owner will be giving you updates and weekly announcements. Besides this room, you will be probably asked to make an additional 2 rooms: a report room for your team, which is in our case is this one, and a main chat for your team, which in our case is this one. And additional to this, my recommendation is that you open another room, one with you and all the members of the team that you're assigned to monitor. In this example, as we said, EFWA is the team that we're using, so here I have opened a chat with myself and the members of the EFWA team. In this chat, you can communicate with them as to the status of the story, be it before they're ready for PR, after there's been a PR, and while you're testing, if you have encountered issues or if you need questions about how to test things, how things work, etc. It's paramount that you communicate with the team on the stories that you're testing so you can get the most efficient and best way to test the story. On top of this, you might also start a full deployment chat, which in our case is this one, which includes all the members of your team plus all the Scrum Masters of the teams that have stories for deployment. In this way, you can monitor and organize the deployment of the entire project. Once you have all this done, the second tool that you will need is the Scrum board for the team that you monitor. You need to familiarize yourself with this board on top of your own board. The stories that are here are the ones that you eventually be testing once the PR is open. So you want to know the progress of the stories. Once the story are done with the coding part and start going into code review and QA, you want to be alert, because it is likely that the story will soon be on the PR open state, which is this stage over here. Once it is here, then it is your responsibility to handle that story. So you want to be aware of the stories that are coming so you can plan yourself. The third tool you're going to need is Bitbucket. Over here in Bitbucket is where the pull requests will appear for you to check them. They will appear up here with your team as reviewers, and you need to make sure that the story is ready. So from here you will pull it down and begin testing it, and once it's ready to test, once you passes your test, you will merge it into the pre-production site. The things you need to know when the story gets here is that first, the story, this one doesn't have it, but the story needs to have description of what was in it and what was added to it, and how to test it, and the expected output of it. In this way, you know what you're looking for and you can move quickly. You need to instruct the teams on the ways they need to submit their pull requests. There are also videos that we have showing you that. Pull request needs to be expedited when it gets into this stage, so you want everyone to be on the same page when they submit one. You also need to go into the diff section of the pull request and make sure that the things that were changed are not going to break the code once you merge it into the pre-prod. You want to be looking for URLs because people test it locally, and you want to make sure that when they submit a pull request, it is ready to be merged into the actual live site. You want to be familiarizing yourself with the code and the changes so that you can see stuff that may potentially break it and you tell them to fix them. The other tool, the last tool that you're going to need, is the deployment Kanban board. This board will be your bread and butter for servicing pull requests. When a story leaves the team's done column and goes into the PR open, it will appear here in this column. From here, you can begin to test your pull request. If you see one story that you're ready to handle, you grab it and you move it to UAT and you begin testing it locally. If that story passes your local testing, then you're ready to merge it. You go back to Bitbucket and you merge it, and then you move that story to pre-prod. And you need to test it again in the pre-production. That a story worked locally does not mean that it's going to work in the pre-prod. You need to test it there so to make sure that it's also working there. Once it is tested there and everything passes, you can move it to the verify column for the professor to pick it up and validate it. Once the story enters the validated column, the story is done, and the team and you get credit for it. If you encounter a bug in a story, then you need to create a bug report for that story and either move the story to blocked or inform the team member that the story has a bug, or both. To create a bug report for a story, just go over here and you create a bug report and you link the story to it. This way everyone knows a story cannot move on until the bug is worked out. This bug report will go into the team's own Scrum board and they'll be able to see it and handle it in a timely manner. Alright, thank you for watching this video. As always, this is our team's contact information. You can use it to contact us for anything you need. And the product owner is Dr. Masusa Jari, and this is his contact information. Thank you.